It's day 38 of my 100x and 100-day journey. 2:30 a.m. Wow. Let me just dive right in. So yesterday I talked about getting 9 pieces of content produced. I didn't do that, but I did something else. So let me just take a step back. One of the objectives that I have had is to optimize my productivity. AKA, I want to make the flow of producing take less bandwidth. Because there's a lot that goes into creating a solid piece of content, especially over and over and over again. And if you show up every single day saying, okay, what am I going to post today? And you don't figure out a way to batch or do 10x of one section of the pipeline of content creation a day, if you don't figure out how to batch it, then you're never going to get ahead. It's the same thing with every other area of life, especially like finances too. Like if you don't figure out how to start getting a multiple ROI on your investment, then you're never going to escape the rat race. So in this context, the rat race is time and bandwidth and energy, okay? So this is what I've been building. I'm building a pipeline that will have some sort of LLM scan the platforms every day for news. This news is specifically pertains to the niche that I'm in for this contract, which is neurodivergence and hiring and the workforce. Something like that. So what I have is I'll get emailed a list of 10 possible trending news stories that are relevant to this niche. And the pipeline that I built is before I dive into what the pipeline is, I'm going to tell you technically the stack of what it is. It's basically, I use the N8N. I'm connecting N8N with Claude Code. And I'm using Codex to kind of refine the logic because I'm having some problems. And Codex is better for resolving logic. Bear with me because it's late. So, long story short, N8N, it's technically open source. I'm not using their platform. I'm self-hosting on my own server so that it doesn't cost as much money, which is good. But it was a little bit of a learning curve, a little bit more technical. Not too bad. Not too bad, honestly. So that's kind of where we're at. So now that we have this, I've been kind of building this workflow, this automation. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what I'm doing here. I take the 10 emails, and out of those 10, 3 are picked. Out of those 3, sorry, it's not 10 emails, it's 10 topics in the email. 3 of those topics are picked. And then from those 3 topics and the breakdown of what these news or takes can be, I send it to Perplexity. If you don't know what Perplexity is kind of like ChatGPT, but specifically for research. So I want to make sure that I have data that supports whatever story or script I write from those 3. So I make a call to Perplexity. Perplexity grabs that, does research, grabs data points from actual citations, and then from here, we take that and the initial 3, feed it into an Anthropic call. This writes a script for each of the respective topics and data. It writes a script that follows this very specific framework that I want, right? So from here, this framework has about 5 bullet points for that specific script that I can riff off of. And the idea here is for each of these 5 bullet points to have corresponding images that I green screen, because that's the format that went viral. So I'm green screening, aka the image is behind me. The image that's behind me is relevant. It's like it's related specifically to each of these bullet points. Okay? And then those 5 images are with the script, and it shows with each of the bullet points, and then that all of this ends up going into Notion. So I pull up Notion, and I have 3 possible scripts for me to just, okay, cool, it's ready to go. I have the deliverables of each part of the process. Like I have the images, I don't have to go generate them. Like I've automated this entire pipeline so that the bandwidth that I have to exercise is simply like seeing the shit and executing and recording. So obviously there's I don't know what is it, headway. There's a certain amount of technical execution in order to get this down. I'm still working it out. I was hoping to be finished by now, but I'm not. I will say that we got some sort of an MVP. Like we have an iteration that at least like one script was generated. It only generated 1 image, so I have to fix that. But this is major because it's just like I was able to take this concept, this proof, and make it from 0 to 1. And now we've actually got something to work with. So I know that over the next day or 2, as I refine this, make it better, I think that we're going to be able to just pin the tail on the donkey. For the most part, get it at least 80% of the way of what it can be. And at that point in time, now we'll at least have systems that are really helping us get ahead of the curve. So this is a really cool breakdown, and it kind of just goes to show you how I operate in my life. Over the past couple days, if you were to just take the past 3 or 4 videos maybe for what they are at face value, then maybe you wouldn't be able to hang, or you'd think that I'm lost my marbles, or like, what the hell is this guy doing? What you have to understand is that, like, when I take my time with things, it's not that I'm not doing the work, it's that I'm processing the variables in my mind, and we're running equations here and making sense of everything that we have to work with. So that, and it's kind of like it's kind of like I'm waiting for the wave, and then boom, let's paddle. So I could sense a couple days ago that like things were coming together, but I didn't have enough to like really dive in and make this shit happen. I just had to keep, like, I need a little bit more data. I need a little bit more data here. I need a little bit more data here. And then the shit falls into place, right? So where I feel really, really, really good about this and the implications of what I've done here and the trajectory of that is that these workflows I can now start to make more and more and more of in every area of my life, especially when it comes to all of the different ways a person can create content and market product. So this I can also do for my own personal brand. I can also do for my own application. I can do it in a number of different ways. And this just excites me a whole lot because I also want to explore what automations look like along this line, using more like exploring realms where I want to innovate artistically, bridging tech and art, expressing myself as an artist, specifically music video generation, or storytelling AI generation videos. You know what I mean? So I have no doubt that it's only a matter of time before, I have no doubt that we'll be talking more about this in future videos. But this is where we're at today. And despite the fact that the goal I set for yesterday didn't necessarily get fulfilled today, I'm not ashamed or upset about it because because of the implications of what else has been done. So all in all, that's just to say that sometimes all you have in front of you is like, well, this seems like the best course of action. And you wake up the next day and either processing that you've done has caused you to have a new perspective, or data that you've accumulated has caused you to reconsider the path, or just an intuition or a vibe has put you in a position where you say, actually, I'm doing this instead. And whether that's how you operate or whether it's not, this is how I operate, and it's gotten me this far in life. And the positive trajectory is that there's a lot of tools and resources with AI that help someone who maybe isn't as organized, me, to kind of harness and put a little bit more containment on the chaos of the world, or the chaos of all of the ideas and all of the noise. Because realistically speaking, none of this could have happened if I had not had a feeling or a knack that there is signal in all of this noise. Let me pin and take note of all the signal so that I have it, and then one day I'll be able to extrapolate it and bring it here and make use of it. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And I'm going to leave it at that for today. Cultivate, innovate, elevate. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.